let's say you found a skeleton. How would you tell it's a dinosaur? You personally, how would you decide?
Well, interesting question. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that.
Hey everybody, welcome to Dapper React number 134. The Bible isn't a history book. I am here, as usual, with my co-hosts, who have, once again, zero sense of time, because they were talking about volcanoes while I was giving the intro.
It's very important. I am trying to determine if we have actual volcanoes in Canada.
They do. He doesn't believe me, but they do.
What do you
look? But we don't have like mountains that blow up.
Yes, you do. They just haven't blown up recently.
Yes, you do.
I don't think
They just haven't blown up recently.
You're where? What mountain?
On the west coast
The
in BC. Oh my god!
Are volcanic
What's
mountains.
the name?
Rockies are volcano mountains.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
These are. I'm looking at the list, and they're regions, and they have names, but I don't think these are actual mountain peaks. Oh, Mount Garibaldi. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like I said,
There we
Mount
go.
Garibaldi. I literally directly named Mount
Shut up,
Garibaldi.
fish.
Like, did you think that the volcanoes
Fine.
stopped in
Oh, and
Washington,
Mount
skipped
Calais.
Canada, and then started back up in Alaska, just so the U.S. got all the volcanoes? Is that
I was the thought had seriously crossed
Okay,
my mind.
well,
It had.
Kip,
Uh,
this might blow your mind, but there are volcanoes in Arizona.
there are for mysterious reasons?
I know. Listen, we have plenty of yes, tons of volcanic activity. I just
I'm
didn't,
taking my 11 drinks, by the way.
like I'm just like all the mountains with smoke and fire coming out
They
of
don't-
them are in.
If that's what
like,
you think
Wash-
volcanoes are, you maybe need to learn some more stuff about volcanoes.
Oh, shut up! I'm doing what I'm doing, and they're all where's
Okay, new idea.
that way. They're all south. They're
If
south.
if
Okay.
Kip agrees,
There's a big one
Okay.
that's close. It's literally like less than 20 kilometers
if Kip
away.
agrees, everybody, if we
Yes.
can get to the 30 super chats for today, in addition to unleashing Kip and company, as it says, I will also reach out to Landon Knoll, noted planetary scientist who does actual volcanology fieldwork, and I will have him and Kip come on for a conversation
Yes.
about Canadian
Let's
volcanism.
talk about Canadian.
I literally just
am
sent you a
very
list.
interested.
That there
I
was a
know.
volcanic eruption in the Iskut Unuk river cones in like 1800. So
Yeah. But
yeah, you have
was it a-
volcanoes, bro.
Was it a big pointy mountain?
Does it matter?
You know, there's like at least 3 different types of volcanoes, man. There's
I
like
don't
field
care.
volcanoes and
I want the big pointy mountain.
move to Hawaii.
Well, I mean, there's one. Like I said, there's literally one 20 kilometers.
Or
away.
actually,
How much is that in
go
Eagles?
to Japan. They've got a lot of
What?
active volcanoes in Japan.
Yeah, Japan has
So
yeah.
many. Japan is full of them. Plus, you would be the
God
tallest
damn it,
guy
I'm a-
within like a 1,000-mile radius if you went to Japan.
That would be novel because I am my children tower over me.
Well, look, as someone who's been to Japan and whose human suit is not particularly tall for America, I was definitely the tallest person in most rooms, excluding possibly my other American friends who were there.
See, wow, this is interesting. No, well, mind you, you weren't wearing your human.
Well, it was
suit.
at the time.
I
but-
saw a picture of you and
Oh, yeah.
Vish, at the Natural History Museum
Lake County, yeah.
in Los Angeles. I think that's right, in LA County, and you were quite a bit taller than Vish.
Well, Fish
I
isn't
mean,
particularly
most
tall.
people are quite a bit taller than
Yeah.
Vish.
Like
Right.
6 or
Oh.
so. 5, 5, 5, 6. I'm
You
regular
are,
height.
but compared to a 2-meter tall dinosaur, that's not particularly tall.
Not particular.
I come up to your hips.
Well, okay, but that's also almost the same thing as coming up to the top of my head, because they're not that far different in height. We got a few things to read here now that we're gone through volcanoes. Let's see. First of all, Ben, do I look like a fungus thick tunicate? Which, by the way, names are back. I don't know what the heck's going on, but I'm happy about it. Sends has been a member
Yay!
for 29 months and is at the amulet level and sends a drink emoji, a pelagic tunicate, an AIG as a bag of dicks, a tiny little dog emoji, a deal with Darwin, and then way too many pelagic tunicates. But we did drink for it because there was drink and AIG as a bag of dicks, so we'll take it. Also gave 10 Dapper Dinosaur memberships. I took 10 drinks for it. I am drinking a Dark and Stormy, although not with Goslings. I am using Bacardi Black this time because it was cheaper. And that's entirely it. Raspberry Limbic Tad for $5 says, there are no mountains in the Pacific Northwest. Dr. Kip, who has written one book, says so.
God. Raspberry Limbic Tad, I did not say there were no mountains. There are a million mountains. I'm surrounded by the mountains, but there's no pointy fire rocks.
I feel like Kip,
except across the border in Washington State.
That is just not how any of this works, but okay. Dutch the Place of Hostilities Tunicate, who's been a member for 16 months and at the tetrapod level, says, technically Minnesota has really old volcanoes. I mean, technically lots of places have really old volcanoes.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Okay. But Canada is one of those places that has volcanoes.
Yes, but not pointy, not big, fat, not great big pointy ones.
Literally
Well,
has.
maybe
Oh my god.
Mount okay, apparently
God.
Mount Garibaldi, but
It's
not...
like saying Wisconsin doesn't have any cows because when you look around, you don't see a bunch of like Scottish longhorns. Like, yeah, okay.
But it doesn't even.
Yeah.
It's so well. I guess it does kind of look.
It turns out volcanoes don't have to have a particular shape or size. They just have to be upwellings with magma under them that will erupt.
Look, all the volcanoes that I am used to seeing on the regular look like volcanoes.
I want you to think about any group of people that you see regularly in, say, movies, right? And then think about how you see that same group of people in real life, and they're not all looking like the movie stars, right? Like, for instance, normal people don't wake up with their hair and makeup done, but movie stars do in movies. It's like this for volcanoes. Just because you see volcanoes on TV or in movies looking a particular way.
No.
Cartoons.
I'm talking about the real life ones. I told you I live 20 kilometers away from one that I actually snowboard on a regular basis. Well, I used to before COVID.
Is it in the United States? Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay. So you have a sample size for your own memory in real life of one. There are many other volcanoes.
Dude, no, Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier
so 2.
is also and I've seen Mount St. Helens, which is 3.
Okay, but Mount St. Helens doesn't have a big pointy top.
It used to.
That's.
I was.
It also used to have a whole like extra side.
It did.
Fearmonger.
I was like 5 when that happened. It was pretty cool.
Fearmonger for $5 says, according to my Hispanic coworker, Spanish has more sounds than English. The reason being that the palatized and tilde N exists.
Yeah.
What say you, language enthusiast Arkansas? No, English has significantly more phonemes than Spanish. Spanish has a pretty normal number.
Significantly.
Yeah, English is way more. Now, if you're counting up phones, I still think English is higher, but I don't actually know for certain because it's going to vary widely between Spanish dialects. So, like, if we're counting, like, every single holophone, I'm not as confident, but I still think English takes it. But if we're talking phonemes, I don't think there's a single dialect of English with fewer phonemes than any dialect of Spanish.
Spanish famously has 5 vowels. Yeah. That's one of the reasons it's so easy to learn. It's very phonetic.
It actually has, like, the 5 vowels. Like, when languages have...
Yeah, A, E, I, O, U.
A lot of languages have 3 vowels, like Arabic. Some languages have 5. And pretty much every language that has 5 vowels has basically the exact same vowels as Spanish. So, yeah, but no. You might be able to argue that if you count tilde N as a separate letter rather than a N with a diacritic, and you also count, like, the accents that you get on vowels that indicate stress, that it has a larger alphabet than English, but alphabets and sounds do not correlate one-to-one in most languages, and they especially don't in English. So no, that is not true at all. That English has fewer sounds than Spanish, not even a little bit. In fact, it's hard to find any Romance language that would have more sounds than English. I don't think that there are any. Other Germanic languages probably, but Germanic languages have a lot of sounds. It's one of the weird things about Germanic languages. So let's.
Vowels native English speakers struggle with a lot.
Well, English already has too many vowels.
I agree.
Look, once you're past 10, it's time to tone it back. Let's pare some of these away. Raspberry Limbic Tap for $5 says Mount Rainier, notably a pointy mountain. AIG's bag of dicks. We'll take a drink. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I have not been keeping up with the current funding, so let me get that fixed. Okay. Roshina, Rip Inside Jokes Keller, except that they're back. Says, we got our names back for $1.99. Yes, we did. It looks like not for any effort of mine. Other than, just complaining and shouting into the void. Which actually, it reminds me. I saw a video of some woman who was complaining about her liberal neighbors, and to own the libs, she changed the password on her Wi-Fi to Trump is your president. As if they would even be able to notice that. It's like, what do you think this is gonna do? How do you think they're gonna get that? You think they're gonna hack into your Wi-Fi just to get your Trump is your president Wi-Fi? And even if that's what they were gonna do to steal your Wi-Fi, I don't think they would care. Man, boomers are weird. Yeah, it was a weird thing. Triceratops, volcanoes do not equal pointy fire rocks. Who's been a member for 18 months says Kip no with 3 Mothras, and we'll take a drink.
Listen,
Incredible.
Look, like I said, if we can get to 30 and you're okay with it, Kip, are you okay with it?
Look, yeah,
okay,
100%.
If we can get to 30 super chats, I will reach out to Landon.
I'm excited.
We'll do a Landon and Kip Canadian volcanism stream.
We'll tune into that because volcanoes are cool.
Look, this is 100% all. I feel like I should. This is 100% Maya's fault.
Obviously.
Okay. Yes, because I sent you guys this picture, right, of Lumbee burning down.
Yes.
Which is a town that I like. And she responded and said, and it's probably a good idea. She was like, have you guys considered throwing a virgin into a volcano to appease whichever god is clearly pissed the fuck off?
There's our one.
So, and that was no, that was Maya. That was not me.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who says it.
No.
It's when it's said on stream. Maya managed to take your F-bomb fast. That's what just happened. And you let it happen.
So, at which point, I was like, when people used to throw other people into volcanoes, they were usually of the tall, pointy variety.
Were they?
Because that's where they were. They were up there, the gods, and that's where you put them.
I think you're just confusing general divine, like mountainous habitation with volcano sacrifices as a separate.
I don't.
Because I'm trying to think, did anybody actually ever hurl folks into Popocatépetl?
Well, I know this. Hawaiian traditional practices do involve multiple gods, but only really one of them bothers to live on or in volcanoes. The other ones live in places like the sky or the ocean or things like that. So, I think you're confusing sort of like the general Indo-European theme of picturing gods as on top of high mountains with volcano sacrifices, which could coincide, but don't have to.
Listen.
Also, the Hawaiians still do volcano sacrifices, but they leave out bottles of hard liquor for Pele because she doesn't want virgins. She wants liquor.
That's right.
Nice.
My girl.
That's
Shout out Pele.
Yeah, so they'll just leave out bottles of whiskey and rum and whatnot. It's like
I learned the 2 different types of I guess lava in Hawaii because of reading Rainbow.
LeVar Burton, you are a
it's-
hero.
Yeah, it's A'a, which is the jaggedy hard one, and it's like cuts your feet. And then there's Pahoihoi, which is the smooth, like roundy.
That's
Close.
super
So-
cool. Hey, are you guys watching Chief of War?
I
It's
am
pretty
not.
good.
I'm watching Alien Earth, which is
Which is
really
quite
good.
good.
I was look going in. I was like, this could be terrible.
Where's that one?
It's on FX.
It's so good. I love it.
Where
It's on
is it?
FX. Disney Plus, I think, might if you have
You
that,
can-
you might be able to get it. I don't know.
No,
Oh, yeah.
you can.
Totally.
There's like a bundle, like you can get Hulu, Disney, and ESPN or something like that, or you can.
My
just do
son
one of
pays
the
for
three.
Disney Plus.
All right, so we got a few.
But yeah, it's
We
really
have a few more super chats here. Raspberry Limit Tad says for $5, I can't buy Kip's book because I have to spend this money to tell him that all volcanoes are valid with a Mothra. Kip, he can't even afford your one book anymore.
good.
Harvey, I'm sorry.
The Kindle's only $9.99, guys.
Yeah, that's way more than the $5.
I know. It's fair. That's true. That's true. But
Fred Harvey for $10 dues says volcanoes can be really hot and cool at the same time. True. Literally
true.
and figuratively true, because sometimes volcanoes erupt in places like Siberia or in wintertime in Japan or Alaska. And it's very cold and very hot.
Mount Erebus in Antarctica, someone else in the chat mentioned.
That, you know what, Mount Erebus is cool. Erebus is horrible. And I hope all the bad things happen to him. But they won't. Volcano Truther Tad for $2 says +1 sorry, -1 I for Kip, +1 for Vish.
We're not playing.
Are we not? Because it looks like you just got a score.
Hell yeah.
We're not playing this game.
Sure, because you just
God
got a
damn
point.
it.
You're always playing.
And then I'm at 0-0, which means I am in last once again. So which reminds me, I do actually have a Blender file set up specifically to track this and give me the distance from the origin automatically without me needing to actually calculate anything.
Because we don't play this game.
Well, we do, but I want to say thank you to Arrow Dodger, who showed me that he was working on something similar, which then pushed me to try to solve the problem, like, independently. And he was like, oh, can I show you my solution? Like, no, I want to see your solution afterwards, because first I want to figure out how I'm going to do it. Let's see, Blue Collar Rausukin, for $4.99, says, as English is a crocodile language, it has all the Latin vowels, always had those, and all the Germanic ones. Well, no, not all the Germanic ones. Plus everything we pull out of our butts. Actually, English has a weird subset, so it basically has the same vowels that Latin had. It does not have all the vowels that all the Germanic languages have, but it has a good subsection of them. And it also throws in a few, like, Old French-derived vowels for a few different sounds in there. It is a bit of a weird crab bag. Also, the je sound that comes up in words like pleasure, yeah, that's straight out of Old French, Norman French, that gave English that. That was not part of English in the Old English period. That doesn't show up until Middle English.
And modern British English speakers sometimes don't even use the je sound. Like, they'll say Asian, not Caucasian. Asian.
Actually,
they might just
North
throw
American English is much more like the English of Shakespeare than modern British English is in any variety. Yeah, both in vocabulary and in terms of accents. So if anyone ever tries to be snooty about the Queen's English, just remind them that you are in fact speaking a language far closer to that of the Bard than anyone in Great Britain is, who isn't American or Canadian. Let's see, Carnival Frog for $5 says, unleash the Kip and 5i to Dapper. Awesome. That puts me in the lead.
Dang.
Thank you very much. And then Carnival Frog also gets 5 Dapper Dinosaur memberships, after which we're going to actually start talking about the video.
While you're taking your drinks, though, can I
just do it and go fast.
I'm just going to. So Marduk Spear has started Hebrew at the University of Helsinki, which is awesome.
Nice.
And they are studying with Dr. Tukku Kauhanen, whom I don't know. But I love the University of Helsinki, and I do have a number of friends there, like Dr. Mika Pajunen and Dr. Jutta Jokaranta, sorry, and Martti Nissinen, and a bunch of people I know there, but I don't know
Remind me
Dr.
where
Kauhanen.
Torleif teaches.
Torleif Elgvin teaches at
Elgvin?
the tiny little podunk Bible college in Oslo. I don't even
Oslo,
remember what
in
it's
Oslo, okay.
called, but he's not at the one of the primary schools, which is either
Okay.
the University of Oslo or Mennesfakultet, also known as MF Norwegian School of Theology, which is where Matt and
Matt
Liv
Monger.
Ingeborg lead, and
Yeah.
Matt Monger and Brent Nongbury is there, and James Crossley is there. It's a pretty great group of
And
people.
for $1.99,
so-
Roshina Rip Inside Jokes Keller says,
Torleif
"How
is
dare
not
French
there.
poisson American
Poisson.
English?" You almost got me there.
My volume? Someone said
No,
my
I think
volume.
so. I've upped your volume a little bit, and I'm hoping it's good now.
Alright.
Volcano Truth or Tad for $2 says +2 for Vish. We'll get this mountain club today. All right. Well, I think that puts Vish in second place.
So I would like to point
Mhm.
out that Volcano Truth or Tad, pretty sure. Did you since he
well, it's
changed his name?
Volcano because there's an A.
Volcano.
I understand that. Yes, thank you. Has now spent the equivalent of what it would have taken to purchase the ebook on Amazon. Get it today, everyone. It's only $9.99. So I think that was a lie. I think it was.
You know what? It is actually possible that was a lie. It's definitely possible. But hey, we are here primarily to talk about why it is that
Lies.
that Brian Thomas.
Right? We're talking about lies.
Well, probably, but why it is that
Maybe
Dr. Brian Thomas thinks that the Bible is indeed a reliable source of history. Also, Anonymous Pie for $6 review says Unleash Kip 1 out of 10. I don't know why 1 out of 10 is there, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, he's sending 10. I think that's what that means.
Okay.
Wow. Is or
Yeah.
they, sorry. I bet oh, see, look, 2 out of 10.
Yeah, they just got
there we
one.
go.
2 out of 10.
Yeah, okay.
It's coming. It's coming,
Okay.
guys. So
Well, let me get through some more.
DM
Some more of these. Nims for now wing for $5 says English is a volcano and AIG is a satchel of Kens. Awesome. We'll take a drink for that. Oh, I accidentally hit the decrement button here while I was trying to work out the scores here, so sorry about that. Then I'm sorry, I have no idea how that's supposed to be pronounced. It says bet for $3.
I struggle with that one.
Volcano
too.
Truth or Tad for $2
Yeah.
says I didn't see I could buy +1 for Kip, +1 for Vish. Okay.
It's +1
Okay,
I
+1
for Kip.
Sorry. So that brings Kip back down to 0-0.
what?
And then that pushes Kip up, Vish up to 4-0. And let's see, Anonymous Pie for $6 review says Unleash Kip 3 out of 10. And we are going to see...
You said Volcano Truth or Tad, I can't buy Kip's book. That is what you said.
But he didn't say that they couldn't buy more points. They have a bigger point budget than they have a book budget. They spent the book budget with the first one, and now they're onto their point budget. Right?
God damn it!
I'm sorry that I'm.
Why do I come here?
Look, I don't know why it is that you don't know how budgets or volcanoes or math work, Kip. But like, that's not on me. By the way, it's a rage for $2 says 2 times e to the -2 times e to the I times pi points to Kip. That's 2, by the way. So we'll give Kip 2 points.
I have.
Prixie Purple is saying it's pronounced no way Yahweh.
I would not have guessed that.
But
Really?
well, whenever I see it, because there's so many U's in it, I just say no way.
And for $6 reduce, Anonymous Pie also says, unleash the Kip. All right, let's hear about this book that Dr. Brian Thomas wants to talk to us about and what's in it.
And so Tom Meyer wrote this on archaeology and the Bible, and super cool artifacts here. And here's
famous
one
biblical
that's featured in this
Tom Meyer.
book. It's called the
Is
Tell
he actually
Dance.
famous? Okay.
No.
Look, if you had told me that this was the most well-known person in all of like biblical archaeology, I would have believed you. I don't know.
And I am 99.6% certain he's not an archaeologist.
I mean, I would not at all be surprised to find that out. But let's hear what Brian has to say about what I believe is normally called the
Shall
Tel
we?
Dan Stele, although they're calling it the House of David Stele, which
yeah,
that's fine. That's fine by me.
right. Which
It's
is
weird, but like
it's
it talks about the House of David, so I'm not going to complain because it is descriptive of its contents.
I like first archaeological mention of David. Pretty sure only archaeological mention of David. The Misha Stele Beit David reconstruction there is still kind of contentious, but anyways.
And Anonymous Pie for $5
Here's why.
for $6 redo says unleash Kip 5 out of 10.
Stella.
I appreciate it because
What's significant
I
about
like
it is, say, Tel means mound, and Dan is a place name, northern Israel. And so this
Okay,
king,
Kip, you're not the target audience for this.
you're gonna give him a
The
drink.
target audience for this doesn't know that.
I'm surly.
I'm just
Now.
saying you can't.
Thanks.
I'm
to-
not. He's getting that right, so we'll take a drink for it. But also, it's valuable information for the people he's talking to, which isn't an actual
Fine.
biblical scholar.
king, Hazael, king of Damascus.
There's some fun names.
He comes and he conquers northern Israel.
English words.
Listen. Importantly, while there is a good chance that Hazael was the king to whom this inscription is properly attributed, since we don't actually have any extra biblical evidence for the existence of Hazael either, and he never mentions his own name in the inscription. It is from the king of Damascus in Aram, which is probably Hazael, but it's probably, right? Probably.
While you continue on with that, I want to say thank you to Joshua Geese for 5 Dapper Dinosaur memberships, and keep telling us about the King Hazael. There, Kip.
I'm done.
Darn it!
Sorry.
By the way, a score check. Dapper is in first with a distance of 5. Vish is in second with a
That's
distance
new
of
for
4.
you,
And
I
Kip
think.
is in last place with a distance of 2.
Rashina says my video is lagging.
I don't see that on my end.
Don't see that either.
All right, here we go.
And he sets up this monument saying, oh, I took over this whole place. And it says House of David. I took over the House of David. It says,
Wow.
I killed Jehoram, son of Ahab,
That's
king of
also
Israel.
reconstructed.
And I
Yeah,
killed
so that is one thing that's important to remember, is that this is a potential reconstruction for what it said.
So, yeah, that's the other thing too. Maybe that's worth mentioning. I don't know if it's too much trouble for you to go back to the picture of the actual of the actual artifact, but I'd like to point out that it's in a couple of pieces, right? And there are scholarly discussions about where the placement of the two pieces are relative to one
They
another.
don't perfectly fit
So
together.
we're not even
right?
No, they don't. So, I mean, I think it's cool that we've got fragments of this obelisk, probably, right? This stele. And it's cool that we know as much as we do from what's inscribed there, but like there's still like, there's a lot we just don't
Yeah.
know. Like it's a good bet again, right? It's a good bet because Ahav's name is clearly on the Teldan stele. Yehoram's name is reconstructed, and all we have left is the Ham part, I think, of Yehoram's name. So it's probably him, but it's Ham was a pretty common element in Hebrew names,
Even though the
in
Hebrews didn't
Israelite
eat
names.
pork, and yet ham was part of their names.
Right? It's just it's just the way they thumb their nose
Ridiculous.
at all those pork eaters.
Actually, Anka for 4.99 says AIG is a bag of spectrum. My ISP also unleash the anti-volcanoist.
No, the pointy things with the fire that comes out of them are cool.
But they're not the only volcanoes.
Yes.
Cool. They're just not the only type of volcano.
All volcanoes are valid.
I'm aware of that, but I don't care about the other ones.
All volcanoes are valid, Kip.
That's volcanoist.
Let's not body shame volcanoes here. It's not okay.
There's a neighborhood at the bottom of the hill from me that is their heating is geothermal, which is kind of cool.
And yet you're like, I wonder if there are volcanoes in Canada.
Oh, shut the
Oh, they're okay.
I did not say it. I didn't.
You didn't this time. You did earlier.
But you wait. You guys just wait.
Kip really needs to be unleashed today.
Yeah.
Son of Jehoram, king of the house of David. Beit Dawid. There it is.
I mean, there it might be. And that's fine. And I think that it's plausible and even somewhat likely that Beit Dawid is in there. But here's the thing, though. What does that demonstrate if it's true? It demonstrates that there was probably a guy whose name turned into David by the time we get to modern English, who existed. Does it prove that he overthrew the previous king? That he was best friends, maybe lovers, with the previous king's son? Does it prove that he snuck into the temple to eat the bread because the soldiers were starving? Does it prove that he went into a cave and almost could have killed the previous king but didn't because that would have been dishonorable or something? None of that. None of the actual story of David, or even the existence of the unified kingdom, is in any way evidenced by a stele that says that there was a guy named David who was the king of an area. None of that happens.
Listen, dinosaur. I was listening to a certain
I know where
now
you're going with
disgraced Egyptologist last night. And I have it on good authority that, quote, most scholars now accept that there was a united monarchy. And
Name 3.
So,
Name
Illuminati.
3.
See, this was news. This was news to me. I couldn't. Yeah. I was like, wow. Wow.
It's like when people go on about Abrahamic religions, my initial response is name 5.
Yep, name 5.
Because virtually no one can get past 3. And it's if you can't get past the first 3 that come to your mind on Abrahamic religions, you don't know enough about them to make a statement about all of them broadly. First of all, if you did know enough about most of them, you would know that there aren't really too many broad statements you can make about all of them.
Because, Mandaeans automatically are just going to be lol no to all of your
figuring
stuff.
out whether or not Druze fit into any of your broad statements about Abrahamic religions, because most of the Druze don't even know.
Do the Mormons
but
count as
I count them as part of the Christian group.
But they're Christian, yeah.
Sure, I know lots of Christians would disagree with me about that. I don't care. But Mormons are Christians. They're an unusual group of Christians.
In the same sense, couldn't we? And I honestly don't know, but couldn't we say that the Druze are Jewish.
No, they'd be closer to Muslim, but neither they nor Muslims identify them as Muslims. So,
Well, that's interesting. I didn't know.
if they identified themselves as Muslims, then I would be much happier including them as Muslims. Like, I count Ahmadiyya as Muslim because that's how they identify. And also, their theology is pretty close to mainline Islam, even if you take into account the places where they deviate from both Shia and Sunni quote-unquote orthodoxy. But because the Druze, one, it's hard to figure out what they teach at all because it's mostly a secret, and two, because they don't self-identify or include themselves as Muslims, I'm not going to count them as part of Islam. Kent Jeffrey of Arimathea Halstead for $4.99 says, in all caps, Kip, don't let these losers bully you. You are smarter brain emoji, stronger arm emoji, and sexier cool emoji, and more athletic than them. That might possibly be true. Blue Collar Rausuke for $4.99 says AIG shall be studied at the Icelandic Institute of Physiology. Nice. Anonymous Pie for $6 redo says Unleash Kip, 6 out of 10. Regios for $5 sends a blank super chat and then also sends for another $5. Think Kip needs to be unleashed today. I agree. Roshina Rip Inside Jokes Keller for $4.99 says, hell, lots of Christians would disagree that Catholics are Christians. Yeah, that's also true.
Say lots, but
a smaller group than I would say would disagree about Mormons, but yeah, it's also still, especially in the United States, a pretty sizable community that would say. I remember at the evangelical church I grew up at, people having conversations about whether or not Catholics were Christians, and I was thinking to myself, I didn't get involved because I didn't care what their conclusion was going to be, but I remember thinking, like, I go to a Catholic school. I'm pretty sure that while I'm not Catholic, that they fall within the Christian category. They talk a lot about Jesus, for one thing. A whole lot about Jesus. He's all over the place. He's in every single classroom. There's a picture or a statue of Jesus. I don't know. Seems like they...
Yeah, I didn't have those in any of my schools that
Did you attend any Catholic schools?
Yeah,
Well,
I did
that
not.
would probably explain
So
it.
it's probably a good bet that you were in a
Yeah,
Catholic
I went to a
school.
Catholic high school.
I find it ironic that there is such a movement since like at least the 1800s to say that, because Roman Catholicism is not part of Christianity, when they spent so many centuries persecuting people who weren't doing Roman Catholicism right. I can't help but laugh at it.
Yep. Naramda puts for $5 says, for the goal. We only need 8 more. And then Volcano Truth or Tad for $5 says, Unleash Kip, I'm excited for the anti-volcanism curses. I have 102 characters left. Minus 2K.
For
To Kip, plus 3 to Fish.
Plus 3 for Vish.
I was thinking whether or not maybe he meant minus 2 Kelvin. I don't know. So that puts Kip back at the origin. So get wrecked, Kip. And then plus 3 for Vish. I'm pretty sure that puts her past me. Yep. Plus AIG is a group of groks.
AIG is a group of groks.
Here's the audiobook.
Where's the audiobook, Kip?
God
Takes
damn it.
a long time.
Just buy the goddamn
Some
book.
people are dyslexic, Kip.
I'm actually presently working on the audio book, and it's work. I'm telling you.
Yeah?
It's
Yeah,
a lot of work.
it is.
But it's and most of the work
Always
is
work
not
is
the
work.
actual. It's not even actually that as much as getting the files edited properly and then formatted. Holy cow. The audiobook people over at Audible are like they're like audiobook Nazis. It's crazy. But
Anonymous Pie for $6 redo says, Unleash Kip, 7 out of 10. All right, we are only 7 super chats away from unleashing Kip, and also for me reaching out to Landon
be a new
about
record,
a volcano stream in the frozen wasteland that is Canada, the barely inhabitable, only along the southern border area of the world that no sane human would ever inhabit. Canada. That also has volcanoes.
We're presently on fire, you know.
You can be cold and on fire at the same time, Kip. It's the thing. We've already gone over this. But also, we got 5 Dapper Dinosaur memberships from Metageeky Platypus Librarian, who, by the way, was in the Alien live stream over on Top Hats Off that went on yesterday. It was excellent. Any of you who at all like tabletop role-playing game actual plays, or the Alien franchise, should check it out. It's one of either 2 or 3 streams, depending on how far they get next time. It was a lot of fun, and I got to actually watch a show on Top Hats Off, which was nice. I didn't have to think about all of the production and playing and everything. So we'll take 5 drinks while Kip regales us about the unified kingdom of Israel and Judah and how it definitely totally existed.
The fabled United Kingdom of Israel and Judah, which was probably invented at some point after the 8th century. I tend to think closer to the late 7th century as a polemic in the this period in which, after the Assyrians destroyed the much larger, stronger, wealthier northern kingdom of Israel centered in Samaria, Judah in Little Jerusalem started to expand and reach into this power vacuum that got created, and they didn't particularly like a lot of the people who were there. So they started to tell these stories, which I tend to think were based on actual people within like Judah's own national ethos, that Saul and David and Solomon. But they started to retell these stories in which they recast Saul, the bad guy, as, you know, this northern figure, and, you know, David, the good guy, as this southern Judean king in Jerusalem. And imagine that there was like this whole united kingdom at one point in this glorious past, sort of as a way to forward their designs.
Here's my question.
On, you know, making
where do we get
Kingdom,
Saul
or
controlling demons to build the temple?
That's a Justin Sledge question.
That's true. That would he actually has several videos about Solomonical magic.
Pretty late, yeah.
It makes its way into the Quran, so it's before the Quran.
I know, right?
Yeah, because it would have had to have been well known in order to get into the Quran. Because the Quran definitely has Abraham. Not what am I? It has Saul using jinn to construct the temple, which is clearly based on the legends of him controlling spirits with his, you know, ring and whatnot. So there we go. We got.
It's definitely. I think it's definitely Second Temple, or like later even, but it's pretty cool.
Julian, give me Nims or Suffer Wrath Ren who's been a member for 28 months and is at the amniote level, says, "We love Kip as much as Kip loves the Bible. And Vish, tell the Academy that voice work is work. Mothra and +5
seriously.
for Vish. Unfortunately, you can't do +5 for Vish on his membership chat because it has to be about the same number as US dollars that you donate." Heather Bodacious claims Kuhn, who's been a member for 18 months, is at the amniote level.
How many points can you get then?
For a membership chat?
Do the maximum. Yeah.
With the membership chats, it's approximately 0 because they don't cost any money.
I mean, they're part of your monthly membership, so whatever that tier of membership
I'm not going to just change the rules in the middle of it just for Jillian. But maybe I'll consider changing it for next time. Heather Bodacious claims Kuhn, who's been around for 18 months, is at the amniote level, says, "As the offspring of someone from Hawaii, I think shield volcanoes are neat." They are neat. Then Roshna Rip.
What
They
are
are
those?
neat.
Well, that's a question for Landon for later. Okay.
Cool.
Write it
I'm
down.
excited.
Question for Landon. Who, by the way, is, as far as I know, my only patron with his own Wikipedia page.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Someone in the Discord was once like, "Who's this Landon guy?" And I just sent him his Wikipedia page. He's like, "Holy crap, we have a celebrity."
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Roshna Rip Inside Jokes Keller for $4.99 says, "Can I do a buy Kip's book in Super Chat?" You absolutely can, with an Amazon link.
Yeah, you
Go
can.
buy God's Propaganda. It's linked right there. In fact, you know what? I will see if I can't pin that. The channel. Roshna, resend it as a non-super chat so I can pin it. Anonymous Pie for $6 review says, "Unleash Kip, 8 out of 10. We only need 2 more." And then My Unfinished Sock, who's been a member for 5 months, says, Don't use Jinn to build a temple. Like and share the stream instead. Or do both. I don't care. It's fine. You can use as many Jinn to build a temple as you want. It's not my business. Sapphire.
Is it okay that I misspelled volcanoes VOLCANOES instead of VALC?
That's not. Volcano isn't how it's spelled.
That's not, no. Volcano.
But it was, yeah,
No,
but it
it's
was part
VOL.
of, yes, that's how I spelled it. But I'm pretty sure Tad spelled it VAL.
I don't know. You can
Yes.
spell it however you would like. Sapphire Science
you.
Nimby's Light for $5 says, I'm starting to think everything Dr. Kip knows outside the Bible he learned on Saturday mornings with a volcano emoji. +5 to Dapper. Rad mock for emoji here. I'm assuming you're on mobile where the emojis don't work very well, so I will take a drink for that. Thank you very much. And I will add 5 to my score. 5 real.
I think I should get something from the membership chat from Jillian.
I mean, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll give you one. I'll give you one. Just because it makes you happy.
Thanks.
Actually, I'll give you one eye. There you go. And current scores, in case anyone is wondering, Vishanti and I are tied, both at 7.07.
Nobody cares.
And Kip is
No,
at 0.
because we're not actually playing this game. We're
Kip,
not.
you do
Are we?
realize that
We're
it's
not.
the audience who's playing, and they care, and it doesn't matter if you care particularly. But also, you're in last because you're literally at the origin.
Damn.
I know, rough, right?
That's rough.
Now, it's actually possible that Vish and I don't actually have the exact same score because, like, I'm only measuring it out to 2 decimal places. So past that, we probably have different scores, and I don't know. I'm not going past 2 digits. So that's how much granularity I'm going to go with.
There's David's name, and House of David means, like a royal lineage.
Mhm.
Royal line.
That's true. Take a
And
drink.
so suddenly
Crown
in
House says
1993,
an eye for an
the
eye.
skeptic had to go,
Nice.
oh,
We got a few things here. Zero Long, who's been a member for 22 months, is at the Tetch Bar level, says, more Dapper stuff. AIG is an eye, midge in the sheep. I'll take a drink, sure, why not? Does it count? No, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then Anonymous Pie for $6 due says, unleash Kip 10 out of 10. Oops, missed $4 last time. Correction ahead. All right. Let me just update all of that. I think we're actually starting to get pretty close to Bent Gets Free Pizza.
Like 2.
Ooh.
Oh, cool.
wait, there really was a King David?
Yeah, that's not an extraordinary claim.
Uh,
That's not extraordinary.
no. Although it is still something that scholars will dispute. Some have suggested I disagree, but some have suggested this is potentially a connection to a mythical line. Some have suggested that this is potentially a connection to because David's sort of it's a weird name in Hebrew too, right? So
Yeah.
as a result of that, they're like, well, it had to be it can't be a real name. It's got to be something else. So
Could also just be a foreign name.
It could be, right? One that we just don't know. But
I mean, one thing is,
yeah,
of the
So, I mean,
languages
there's lots of-
in the area,
there's-
we only know of a minority of them because there were some unwritten languages that were spoken in the
Yes.
area. So that's always one
Yeah.
of those tough things when we get to ancient languages, is sometimes we see words that are like, this is a loan word. But we have no clue from where. We just know it's not a native word because it doesn't follow any of the conventions of the language. And also, that's one of the ways that we have been able to figure out some of the Egyptian vowel characters, or not characters, but vowel sounds for certain words, is because they're recorded as proper nouns in languages that bothered to write down vowels from the time. So you'll get an Akkadian cuneiform tablet talking about Pharaoh so-and-so. And we're like, oh, okay, that's probably this guy, which means that's how these elements of his name are probably vocalized, which lets us then extend that to other uses of those elements in the language to figure out how they probably sounded, which is all sorts of cool stuff. Because Akkadian used a syllabic form of cuneiform, which encoded vowel sounds, which is unusual among Semitic languages, which typically don't bother with vowels. So,
I'm presently in Dr. Joshua Bowen's Acadian.
oh,
Games.
nice. And
It's
Kip,
fun.
guess what?
Yep.
We're now unleashed.
It's about
Hey.
fucking
It is.
time.
All right, so
Jeez.
Ashley for $4.99 says AIG is a bag with a word. It sounds like when my War Thunder tank commander says insert X number of clock, -4 to the volcano mythicist and +1 to Daps. All right, well let's.
War Thunder.
So
Oh wait, no, I already did those score adjustments. Anonymous Pie for $4 redo says error correction. Now the math works. Thank you very much. Let's see.
you know it's speaking of the name David, or do you have things?
I do
to
have
read?
at least one thing to read.
Sorry.
thing
Naramda
to
puts
read.
for $5
Okay, read
says
your thing.
add I to the I squared plus e to the 0, so 2 divided by 2, so 1 plus pi to the 0, so 1 divided by 0.5 to all scores and unleash the stream. Okay, I'll add 0.5 to all the scores. Let's see. Oh, I also want to say, speaking of War Thunder, I have the solution to the Epstein files controversy, and it is make Epstein a playable character in War Thunder, and then the files will leak.
Just wait.
Yeah, the files will leak to the War Thunder forums in like 2 days.
Yep. It's true.
So just
It's so
make
true.
it so you can play as Jeffrey Epstein, and have him have like little girls as an applet of armor. And there you go.
God.
Oh,
Am I wrong? Did I get it wrong?
No.
Exactly.
you didn't. But I feel like I just
See, at least
feel like I
these
need
little
a
girls
shot.
aren't actually getting
So-
hurt because they don't exist, unlike the actual victims that people are
That's
ignoring.
fair. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Ugh.
After reading whatever it is you want to
I
talk
wanted-
about, Pegajace has gifted 5 Dapper Dinosaur memberships, so I'm going to take drinks while you talk about that.
I wanted to point out, because not everyone is aware of this, and I think it's kind of interesting. And by the way, I talk about this kind of stuff in God's propaganda. Solomon was actually given another name by Nathan the prophet, when he was born, and his name given by Nathan the prophet was Yedidiah, beloved of Yahweh, which seems to be based on the same root as David, the name for David. So that's kind of interesting,
Cool.
especially since it's mentioned like once in the Deuteronomistic history. I think the chronicler mentions it once or twice and then just kind of brush past that. But yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on between just the identity of Solomon, especially when you juxtapose that with like someone like David. So anyways, it's cool. It's fucking cool.
Apparently,
guys.
I'm extra spicy today. The booze consumption is showing. I guess, I don't know. Am I extra spicy? I don't know. I feel like I'm about this spicy when it comes to things like
Wow.
people covering up for child abuse.
Yeah.
That'll make it.
Yeah,
Make it spicy.
of the
As it
things to
should.
get spicy about, that's pretty high on the list.
Oh my god. No, spicy would be talking about the fact that one of the people that works in the administration got honeypotted on Hinge and was recorded saying, "Yeah, we're going to redact out all the Republicans and leave all the Democrats in."
Yeah.
And then he had to write an apology in Notes app, which was then screenshotted and tweeted out by like fucking Homeland Security or whatever official government account. I'm like, you guys are so pathetic.
It's just a clown show. The one saving grace about fascists is that they're so fucking incompetent.
They're just so
They're
fucking
bad at
incompetent.
everything, possibly except, well, I was going to say possibly except for, like, fashion design, but the current round aren't any good at fashion. So, like, I don't know. Maybe that was just a weird fluke in Germany.
Oh,
You know, but
Yeah.
God.
Absolutely.
but what impact does it have? Well, if you follow
Here's
the
the impact
evidence,
it has. If everything you said is true, Brian, there was a guy named David on whom the biblical David is based. That's the impact it has.
That is
Yep.
it.
It should
And
start
that's
to have
again, this is one of those things that I've told people before. It's like Obama was in a Spider-Man comic. Obama's real, but that doesn't make Spider-Man real or any of his stories real events
Yeah.
that happened.
Actually,
So-
another good example might be Charlemagne, right? There's a lot we don't know about Charlemagne, but there's some that we do know.
Right.
But also, some of our records about Charlemagne said that he got his sword from elves who lived under the ground and forged it for him. I'm pretty sure that the fact that we know that Charlemagne is real doesn't mean anything about elves being real and whether or not they live underground and make swords for people. I don't think that we have to accept all of that all at once.
If they do, I want a sword.
Well, I'll tell you what. Elves definitely exist in Dungeons and Dragons. Although the sort of characterization of the elves in the Charlemagne story would be more like modern fantasy dwarfs. Because at the time this was being written down, all of those things were just categorized as elves, and it wasn't until Tolkien that we got our current conventions of elves, dwarves, and orcs and whatnot. So, like, just play Dungeons and Dragons and get a dwarf to forge a sword for you.
Can I get a sword in Star Trek?
Yes.
Sulu had a sword.
Well, he did
Mhm.
briefly. He had a rapier, and then
I'm
he offered
gonna-
to
I'm gonna tell
to
Chesh
save,
to draw me a sword.
Uhura while calling her a fair maid, and then she said sorry, neither, which is one of my favorite lines in all of Star Trek. And it was a ad-lib line from Nichelle Nichols. Nichelle Nichols did not have that written in her
Legend.
script. She just said sorry, neither, and pushed him away. And it was great. Ashley, for $1.99, says, would he be a helicopter, a boat, a plane, or AFV? I'm thinking AFV. I don't actually know. Maybe a boat. Oh, no, obviously a plane, right? Because he had the Lolita Express. So that's what you actually put in the game. Problem
Right.
solved.
Yeah. Okay.
Volcano Truth or Tad for $2 says, what is God's propaganda plus 2 to Vish? It's Kip's one book that he's ever written. Kip has written a book.
There it is. I have written several
That's-
books.
That's possibly true,
but-
but I cannot confirm this.
It's entirely true. You just have to
I don't
Google
know.
it. It's easy information.
Yeah, but
to
now
find.
Google's all AI, and I don't trust it anymore.
You can actually buy multiple.
I mean,
books
you say
I've
that,
written.
but like
Well,
I've tried to buy things
theoretically.
online and been scammed. So like, who can say?
So I mean, it might be a scam because I know that the other books that I've written are all over like $130 US.
Yeah, they're
so,
way too expensive. Freaking brutal.
So don't buy those.
Or do?
Jeez.
I'm gonna play.
impact because the more we dig, the more we discover.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so that's one artifact that's featured. By the way, full photos, richly illustrated book.
It's not illustrations, but okay, cool.
Those, photos aren't illustrations, but okay.
I mean, they are nice pictures. I'll give you that. They do look like archaeological sites.
One.
Yes, absolutely. And our
yeah.
listeners, if they're interested, they can find it icr.org/store. We highly recommend.
Yeah.
I love that this entire thing is slowly just turning into a commercial for various items at the ICR store. It's basically an infomercial. It's a YouTube infomercial like the late night TV from the 90s. You're basically getting the Christian version of the slap chop commercial.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of giving shout outs.
Chesh says she's going to draw me with a sword.
Nice.
I love it.
Neat.
Although I'll say, if you want to actually have a sword that you can just carry around without spending any momentum to get it.
I don't care. I just want the picture.
Okay. So you don't want to actually have an in-game sword. You just want to have a picture of a sword.
No, because I'm pretty happy with, because that would cost me something, wouldn't it?
Well, it would cost you a talent. You'd have to take a talent away and you spend it instead on personal effects as a talent.
Pretty happy with the talents that
All right.
I have acquired.
We'll say that you have a display sword.
Yeah.
Not an effective weapon, but it exists as a physical object.
But I could totally 100% use it as an effective weapon.
It would break.
No.
He says no, like I'm not the one in charge of that.
I watch a YouTube channel. It's also a TV show, Digging for Truth.
Oh,
And-
yeah, quality stuff
Hey,
there.
remember when the History Channel used to have history, and then it became like time travel Nazis and aliens?
All History
Yeah.
Channel. Yeah.
Oh, yes, right.
At one time, and
And
it's
you're definitely a serious archaeologist when you wear a fucking fedora and the satchel.
yeah, well, that's the
thing across your
uniform
shoulder,
of
right?
an
That
archaeologist.
is he's probably got a fucking bullwhip.
Yeah, I was actually about to say, I think
in
he
that,
probably
in
does
that
have
bag,
a bullwhip.
right?
It's just
Yeah.
not showing right now. Yeah.
Like, because that's totally something that screams legitimate archaeologist
Mhm.
here, guys. Jeez.
The Associates for Biblical Research is a group, a ministry that focuses on archaeology.
Ministry.
And they also
Ministry.
have a high view of Scripture, like we do. And we think that the words
Okay.
meant.
So what I'm getting from that is they are a group that digs around in the dirt, specifically looking to confirm their ideas and ignoring anything that doesn't do that, and then taking anything that does lend itself towards their ideas, and vastly exaggerating how significant that is. Because when he says they're like us, that's what ICR is. Volcano Truth or Tad for $2 says, hashtag Mallsword Kip. Yes. -1 eye for Daps, +1 for Kip. All right, so that means that I am going down to 4 eye. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, it does mean I'm going down to 4 eye. And then Kip is going to -3.5.
Seriously. Just buy the fucking book, Tad.
You do realize that there's a fair chance that at this
And if
point...
you did already, just
Oh,
buy it
okay.
again.
I was going to say.
Right?
Roachina Rip Inside Jokes. Keller for $4.99 says, the History Channel used to have history like MTV used to play music. Yeah. Although, to be fair, the History
Right?
Channel's history
Yes.
was almost entirely Roman military history and World War II. But
Yeah.
that's history.
That's true.
Fudge.
That is, in fact, history, which is which makes it a downgrade when they go into just ancient aliens and like time travel Nazis, which I guess is still technically World War II. It's just not history about World War II. Hey, guys, there is no evidence of time travel Nazis, in case you're wondering. Just putting it out there. Goop23 for $5 says, I have a Pathfinder character who's an archaeologist, and I have her whip. Nice. Technically,
Gave her a whip.
Oh, sorry. I have her. Yeah, okay, I gave her a whip. I'm sorry about that. Actually, my Starfinder character has an archaeology background, mostly for the game benefits, because it doesn't come up much in play. But still, he's technically an archaeologist, in addition to someone who likes to throw around fireballs. So, because even in Starfinder, the fireball equivalent spell deals way more damage than it should for a 3rd level spell. Tradition for D20 games.
My sword bearing character in Star Trek is also an archaeologist.
That's true. Yeah, you have
Right. But I don't know whips.
Well, I mean, you could
Can
get
we-
because I'm a
Can we
little
take a
bit more
brief
serious about it.
intermission for bio breaks?
absolutely
and
we
snacks?
can. Kip, why don't you think
We've
about?
been missing those,
Well, now we're not going to.
but yes.
Kip, while you get a
Yay.
refresher on your drink, why don't you think about your sword so you can describe it to Chesh so that she can draw your maul sword, which I promise you will break the minute you use it as a weapon.
It
It will, but it will deal damage
No.
because it's a maul sword. All right, we'll be right back, everybody. Okay, we are back currently. Vish is grabbing some snacks, but she said to go ahead. I have a slightly refreshed drink, and we are basically ready to get back in here. I do want to say, first of all, we are really close to getting Bent some free pizza, if that's something people want to do. I did tell Bent to think about a pizza order, although I made no guarantees. But real quick, I just want to say, if you do like what we do here, if you're enjoying this show, if you just enjoy my videos generally, and you are someone who wants to help keep the channel going, we have a few ways that are really helpful to help you do that. One is the Patreon. I'm actually thinking about doing a Patreon marathon stream sometime, because I would like to get the Patreon to the point where it can cover a little bit more of the bills than it does now, because it is by far the most reliable way that I make money on via this channel. But also, there are the channel memberships. The Patreon starts at $1 a month. You can get a 15% discount for going annually. Membership started at $1.99. There are higher tiers on both with better perks. You can go, if you do either of those, you can join the Discord server that's just for patrons and members. You can get early access to videos. I've got one that I think I'm going to upload, or it's actually already uploaded, but I think I'm going to publish it for early access probably tomorrow or something. I said in the video that I was going to send it to Dr. Dan before I put it up on early access, which means I have sent it to him, and so I have to wait a little while to give him a chance to watch it first. Because otherwise, I'm a liar. I want to be a liar about that. So I do have to delay that a little bit, but it is about Roger from Mud Fossil University. So,
He's
yeah,
pretty great.
it's going to be absolutely incomprehensibly dumb. And I mean that literally. Like, it won't actually make any sense what he's trying to say. What Roger says often doesn't rise to the level of idea. It's hard to even call it wrong, because it's not an idea. It's just, I don't know what to do with it. Except make a video, which I did. You'll be happy to know, or sad to know, that he does not call any caves vaginas in this one. So, I don't know.
That is
Well,
sad.
He
It
does
really
have plenty of
is,
other videos
but
where he calls caves vaginas. So,
that reminds me, you're going to be on Bad Science Sunday tomorrow, aren't you?
that should be the case, I believe, from
That
Maya.
is the case.
So, but we will talk about that
Okay.
when we are doing wrap-up stuff.
And maybe you can talk about lots of stone vaginas tomorrow.
Yeah, the worst kind of vagina, if I'm being honest.
I would imagine so, yes.
Pretty useless for anything. I guess except spelunking if it's big enough.
Spelunking's
I
fun.
guess, I don't know.
I mean, it can be. It gets. Yeah, there are times when it's less fun.
Yeah, like I
But,
hear about like, oh, I'm gonna go spelunking. It's like, oh, I'm gonna squeeze through this like rock thing that I have to exhale in order to actually get through. And I'm like, nope, I'm out of that. I'm not gonna ever do any of that.
No. See, I am 100% no. But where I grew up, just outside of the city of Calgary in Alberta, there is a place called Moose Mountain that, and I don't know why it's called that, because it doesn't even look like a moose, and there's no moose there either. Anyways, but there is a very deep ice cave in Moose Mountain that you can walk into, and you can walk for like 200 or 300 meters inside.
Yeah,
It's
that's
pretty
cool.
great.
I'd do that.
So, that's fun.
But I'm
right?
not gonna like
Yeah.
squeeze through a little space where if I inhale, I'm now dead.
No,
Nope.
definitely not. Well, 100% no. And it's fun because on hot summer days, which we get here in Canada, it's cool inside the
When
ice
he
cave.
says hot summer days, he means like 24 degrees.
No, that is not what I mean. I mean like much hotter.
Oh, I'm sorry,
than that.
26 degrees.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna hit play.
What they most plainly
Okay.
seem to mean. And those friends of ours and that ministry agree with us
I
on
need
that.
to be clear. When he says what they most plainly seem to mean, what he means is what they mean to someone who is looking to confirm their own already biased conclusions on the basis of deciding that the Bible is historical, on the basis of nothing. The most plain meaning, by the way, for things like, say, the Tel Dan stele is that there was a guy maybe named Dawid who was the king of someplace, someplace near Dan.
Yes,
That's what that means.
that's it.
That doesn't mean anything beyond the bare existence of a David from the actual Bible story of David is true. Now, could some of it be true? Yeah, maybe. But that's not evidence of that. Right? Like, maybe there was a guy who's named David, who was the first king of some country, who, overthrew a previous king and stole some bread from a temple. I don't know.
That's a funny story, by the way.
The showbread story?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Because
Is it funny?
in it, why is it funny? Because in this story, the priest asks, first of all, David tells the priest, I'm on a secret mission from Saul. And then he tells the priest, see, me and my guys here on
No, I'm gonna leave it off. It's getting really
on
hot.
my
Don't want to be
secret
sweaty,
mission from Saul needs some supplies, so you should give us the showbread, because we all know God's not going to eat it. So it's showbread. But anyways, the priest then asks David, well, I could do that, but you have to promise first that you and your men have not been out raping and pillaging. And David's like, no,
Never.
because we observe the law of Moses that has not been written yet. But I think, and at that point, the priest is like, yeah, I can trust this guy. Sure, take the showbread. It's all good because you gave me your word. I just think it's hilarious that David is just lying his ass off through this whole thing. So,
Yep. All right, I'm gonna hit play.
They focus on archaeology. We focus on science. But here for this one segment,
I'm just
who's they? Sorry, I
it's
missed who's
the,
they.
The ministry that he mentioned. I'm just taking a drink for how hilarious it is that ICR is saying we
is it
focus
the
on
associates?
science. Hmm.
Is it the Associates
Yeah.
of Biblical
Something like
Research?
that.
Because they, while they like to focus on archaeology, they sure do get it the fuck
Mhm.
wrong
Yeah.
all the goddamn time.
of this one question
So-
on this one podcast, we're happy to say, man, there's so much said in the stones, literally written in stone, place names,
Yeah.
people names that verify exactly what the Bible
Well,
Oh, it
No.
doesn't.
exactly.
Like Vish was saying, Spider-Man comics take place in New York mostly. New York is real. That doesn't make Spider-Man real.
Exact is like, this is a very flexible word to use here.
What it means is
As
some
well.
aspects of some biblical stories have ties to the reality of the place in which they take place, which is, one, not very controversial, and two, kind of to be expected, because they were written by people living in the places that the stories are supposed to take place in, right? Like, if I wrote a story
Yeah.
that was entirely fictional, but that took place in Tucson, which is where I live, you would expect me to get at least some of the geography and maybe even some of the people who were, historically, like, I don't know, like mayors or city council members or something. Right. Even though my story is mostly fictional. That's just kind of how writing works. It's like when people are like, no, it's just the exact same thing, right? Like, oh man, the Gospels got right that Bethlehem and Nazareth exist. Well, yeah, they were written by people who knew about those places. Of course they did. It doesn't mean much. It would be weird if it didn't happen.
Also, some of this stuff that's written in stone will just, while it will be describing places and events that we perhaps know from the Bible, it completely contradicts what the Bible says about said persons or events. So, that's fun.
Volcano Truth or Tad for $2 says, I live in Seattle, therefore Frasier is real. Yeah, there you go. Frasier Crane, real guy.
By the way, can you tell me what earlier he said? Can you tell me what LEGO is? Earlier he said, at this time next week I will be touring LEGO, LIGO.
LIGO. That's
I have an extra ticket. LIGO?
yeah,
Oh.
that is
Okay.
the laser
What is
interferometer that measures
yeah!
gravity waves from deep space.
Wow, where is that?
It's at LIGO.
I don't know where that is.
Well, so
Help me.
you drive
So-
south until you hit LIGO. I have to make a few turns.
They have an extra ticket if I want to move our fight to next to giant space lasers, which sounds fun.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, these are
and it's
lasers
nice
that
that-
are on Earth that measure things out in outer space. They're not in outer space.
Right.
But also, flat
Okay.
earthers, please explain why the elevation of the platform that contains the lasers for LIGO has to change over its extent to accommodate for the curve of the Earth.
Yep.
It doesn't actually, is what they just
I
say.
mean, you can just
"Nuh-uh,"
go there with
right?
a tape measure and verify that it absolutely does change its elevation.
But not.
Oh, right, I forgot.
So, yeah.
Telling us all along.
Mhm.
So there's more. You like more?
Yes, keep going.
Oh, speaking of
I
Hittites,
love how like the more was based like what happened before this, before we get into the more was Hittites exist. And a guy named Dan maybe also exists. Sorry, David also maybe existed.
Also, what's
Okay.
the name of the woman again?
Oh,
we
I don't
remember?
remember
I
her
don't
name, no.
remember.
I only remember the PhD's
But
names.
man, does she ever want to be somewhere else?
Yeah, that's
than here.
yeah.
This interview,
She's not my
man.
favorite of their hosts. She always seems like this is her least favorite part of the job is doing these interviews. I mean, I can't blame her. I wouldn't want to be doing this either.
No.
I learned
Oh, southeastern
Okay, so-
Washington is not that far.
the skeptics said this. You find Hittites mentioned in early Genesis, like Abraham's time. And it's in our
Yeah, but-
Bibles as
Okay, let him
Hittites.
finish. Let him finish.
And well, what they learned when they did the digging and they found the material culture of the Hittites is that really they're several hundreds of years after Abraham. So the Bible can't be giving us accurate history because it mentions Hittites long before the Hittites ever came around. And so the Associates for Biblical Research decided to take on that problem. And they started with the Bible study. So that's a good place to start, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's actually the worst place
Yeah.
to start with that,
It
but okay.
really is.
what
Yeah.
you're telling me here is we started with figuring out what our conclusion should be. That's not how you do
Yep.
archaeology. That's how you do pseudo-archaeology. If you're starting with your conclusion, you're not doing scholarship. You're doing pseudo-scholarship of whatever kind. Might be pseudoscience, pseudo-history, pseudo-archaeology, pseudo-medicine. I don't know. But it's not the actual thing that you're trying to do. For $1.99, Blue Collar Rausuke says, AIG are a silly sack of sent men slingers. I will take a drink for that. Thank you very much. And we are actually getting really, really close. I think
So
with probably more than 10 but fewer than 20 new memberships, we could probably get with some free pizza. Sorry, go ahead, Kim.
I'm wondering if I should let him finish talking about the Hittites.
Yeah, I'm
before I-
curious to see what he has to say about
Yeah,
them.
let's do that. Okay.
Great.
Bible study.
Yeah.
And they found there's a subtle difference between the lettering of words, and translators missed it. So in our Bibles,
I really have a lot of
What?
trouble imagining that the translators missed it, and the Hittites from Genesis are a different group of people, which is, I'm pretty sure, where he's about to go with this. But also, Metageeky
Okay.
Platypus Librarian just gifted 5 Dapper Dinosaur memberships. I'm going to take those drinks while Brian goes on here. Thank you very much, Metageeky.
it's translated Hittites in early Genesis and other places. But it should have been translated Hethites because these are the sons of Heth,
Oh.
H-E-T-H. So I found an
So-
article.
I go,
Okay.
So there's a small spelling
wow.
difference, and now you're just making up an entirely, also unevidenced people group
Completely.
just
so.
to account for the
Yes.
fact that the Bible seems to have a historical error. Okay.
Yeah,
we're
I know.
using-
This is funny because No, I was going to say when I was I feel like I'll it feels like I haven't been here for a while, so I'll just say it again. I might have mentioned this in another one of our streams, but when I was a teenager, this was kind of like presented to us as the ground truth for being assured that the Bible provides an accurate historical record and can be trusted in all things, was that prior to the start of the 20th century, there was no evidence at all for the actual existence of the Hittites. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing too, because it's not like the Hittites are especially prominent.
They're just kind of in there.
They're just there, and so archaeologists discovered this thriving late Bronze Age civilization in Anatolia. Now here's the thing, which I always, and this was this is provided if the Hittites existed, the Hittites actually existed, the Bible mentions the Hittites, therefore Jesus rose from the dead. That's is the way that the argument goes, right? It's a leap. But I bought it when I was 15 years old. But here's the thing about the Hittites is that, like I said, it was a thriving kingdom right up until around the 12th century BCE, and then it rather abruptly, suddenly, cataclysmically was just
that must be
done.
The flood.
It was a variety of things. Probably climate change was a big contributing factor. Raids, probably from the sea people. Lots of political internal instability. There was, and the climate change contributed to a very severe famine that deeply affected the area. So, the empire just crumbled, very, very fast. And from that point on,
I wonder what it would be like to live in a crumbling empire.
Crumbly
would suck.
It would be crumbly.
I bet there would be only 22,000 jobs added in the last between the previous jobs report and the new one.
Yeah, probably. But here's the thing: is that the Hittites in the biblical text are included in the group of nations of Canaan that need to be eradicated.
When they didn't really live in Canaan, did they?
No, they did not. So the Hittites competed with the Egyptians towards the end of the Bronze Age for control in Canaan. Very important region because you control these significant trade routes that go east into Mesopotamia, right? So the Hittites got as far south as Carchemish, which is not even it's just nowhere close to anywhere that Joshua is said to have invaded or conquered, right? So right away they're in the wrong place. And then there is mention, maybe the most famous Hittite is Uriah, who has a Yahwistic name, which is kind of interesting. In 2 Samuel, this is in the
People who don't remember, that's Bathsheba's original husband David had killed.
Yeah.
That's the one.
So I think
in the succession narrative,
one of the things we can then say is that the Bible gets both the time and the location of the Hittites wrong.
Yeah.
So giving it props for the existence of the Hittites is fine. But given that it gets the time and the location wrong, that doesn't really do a whole lot to bolster the historical truthiness of the stories of the Bible.
So, in fact, I mean, one of the things you could say is that the way that the biblical texts actually describe and talk about and feature the Hittites. It's almost like the writers knew something about this group of people long ago, but like clearly got everything
I think
else
about it like
beyond that
when Hollywood
wrong.
was doing a lot of westerns, and the quote Indians were just some homogenous group that sometimes raided things for some reason, and like, yeah, there were in fact Indians in the Old West in the time of the cowboys, but like their Hollywood depiction has absolutely no particular like nuance or accuracy. It's just there for flavor.
Yes.
And that's kind of like how the Hittites are functioning in the biblical texts, is that they're a lot like the Indians from spaghetti westerns made by Hollywood in like the middle of the 20th century. There's not a whole lot of accuracy or really concern for accuracy. It's just a fun thing to mention.
It definitely is. So and I have to say something here too to Fits of Rage. Listen, I have a shirt and everything. And it's written here in this book.
Oh.
And I'll read it to you. I fucking love the Bible. It's right there in the book. So
Probably wouldn't
there you
publish
go.
that.
They may not. I should have checked.
Article on their website, the one for, I think it's BibleArchaeology.org. Anyway, it's Associate for Biblical Research. And I
Sounds
found like every
reputable.
occurrence in the scripture where it says Hittite, but it should say Hethite.
I want to know how you did this there,
So-
Dr. Thomas, because I'm pretty sure you don't know a damn bit of Hebrew. I don't know that you could reliably distinguish Hebrew letters from each other. I think you would probably be worse at it than that one kid that I helped out in boot camp who was struggling with an ayin because he was reading his prayer book for like the first time in over a decade. Because you're in boot camp, you do a lot more religious services than you normally would because it's the only thing to do. I'll bet you know way less Hebrew than that kid.
I'm looking
And I
it
went
up.
into
because I'm
my-
curious now.
Study Bible, and I crossed out the wrong word and put in Hethite. And you know what that does? It's not just, because I'm anal retentive and I like to get the details right.
But it is also that.
So one of the things, like he said, it should be Hethite, right?
Despite that isn't a sound in Hebrew.
Well, I mean, I guess you could. One of the things we learned, and the in the early, some of the first Hebrew I learned was what we would call seminary Hebrew. It's on the nose, like as a distinct thing because they pronounce all their vowels like W, and they're very particular when it comes to the letter Tav because it's a Begad Kafat letter. Meaning that it will take the Dagesh Lene or will be doubled quite often. So like a double, in English we have double N's and double L's and things like that. Well, the same thing in Hebrew with a handful of letters, including the Tav. And we would always pronounce the soft Tav as a th sound, even though
I hate it.
it's not.
It was never a th
Right.
sound.
It was never a th sound, but this is what you do in seminary
At least
Hebrew. but-
vav with a W sound. You
Like
can get
this-
you can say it was pronounced that way, and it almost certainly was.
Yeah. But this is just wrong on every level because Hitti, which is the Hebrew word for Hittite, is with the double tav. Like it's even in bullshit seminary fucking Hebrew, it's not Hethite.
Yeah.
It's still Hitti, which is, and here's the crazy thing too, right? Like it is in Egyptian, it's Cheta. In cuneiform, it's Chati. In Hittite, it's Hitti. Like
Yeah. So
It's- that's what it
far more
is.
parsimonious
That's just
explanation.
What the fuck it
more
is.
parsimonious explanation is that is one of two things. Either one, different authors had different ways of transliterating this word into Hebrew, which is a thing that happens. Or two, at least one of these sets of texts was written after the phonemic distinction between the emphatic and the regular consonants had disappeared in Hebrew, which seems to have happened fairly early in Hebrew, because there's not a whole lot of evidence of it ever actually being there in Hebrew, despite the fact that there are separate letters for these. So I'm leaning towards the latter, where this was probably just after the phonemic distinction was gone, and so the emphatic consonants just didn't really exist in any meaningful way at this point. But the other one also is perfectly plausible, and the least plausible option is that there's yet another heretofore unknown ethnic group mentioned in Genesis. That seems far less plausible. Is it impossible? No. But is that the conclusion that we should come to as, like, this is our most likely explanation in terms of history and archaeology? No. Volcano Truth or Tad for $2 says, notable Bible hater, Dr. Kip Davis. Yeah, Kip, why do you hate the Bible so much?
I fucking love the Bible,
No.
you guys.
See, if you love the Bible, then you would be accepting everything Brian Thomas here says.
Mhm.
Sometimes that's the case, but I'm not denying that either. But it's not just for my own sake. It's because what it does for me is it says, oh, the skeptics were totally wrong.
About what?
And that
No,
gives
we
the game
fucking
away
were
right
not.
there.
There you go.
Yeah,
He's like, I made up an entirely new, undiscovered, unevidenced ethnic group because it harmonizes a contradiction.
Mhm.
Yes.
and not even an
Mhm.
internal contradiction, just a contradiction between the archaeology and the Bible.
They were
And
wrong.
a dumb one,
Yeah.
right? Like it.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't study the Bible. They didn't try to look for a solution.
Imagine saying they didn't study the Bible.
Oh my god.
Theology, to some extent, started by looking at ancient texts, including the Bible, and trying to find the things that it was talking about.
Only people who think that it's inerrant, univocal, infallible, and inspired consider this a problem that needs to
Yeah.
be solved. They cannot just take the text for what it is.
Which is a compilation of other
So,
texts.
That's why they need to solve problems that aren't there. It's just so ridiculous. My
This is-
goodness.
this
Just
is
let
kind
the
of a
text be
fun
what
thing.
it is.
Yeah. Do you guys know how
Hate
long?
this.
Do you know how long humans have been doing archaeology?
I mean, it depends
Or
on
I
how you
should say,
define it.
at least people in the West. I guess in the Western world, and what we consider
I
archaeology.
think it's a couple hundred years or so, isn't it?
Yeah. Early 19th century probably was when Europeans started to go, hey, we can dig this shit out of the ground and take it home.
Thousands of years
So,
ago, the Egyptians were
Put
doing
a
archaeology
Bible in
Egypt.
one hand and a spade in the other.
But here's right, exactly, Vish. And this is the thing.
Mhm.
There is a famous archaeologist by the name of William Foxwell Albright, who decided who did this. This was his thing, right? He was active in the early part of the 20th century, and he figured if I just follow the text of the Bible, I should be able to identify landmarks in the region here and dig them up and, identify the actual physical features that are described in the biblical text. And he started doing this. And after a little while, he had to go,
Oh,
well,
Yep.
fuck.
not working.
Well,
This is not working.
The same thing happened with geology. Geologists assumed that they were going to
right?
find evidence of a
Yes.
global flood. And then not only did they not find that, they found evidence that it was basically impossible. Oh no! Well, what do? They went with the evidence. Volcano Truther Tad for $2 says, can't wait to hear his opinion on the curse of ham. Man, that makes me hungry. I don't want cursed ham. If I'm going to get ham, I want regular, non-cursed ham. Which actually now makes me think maybe I'll put some Canadian bacon on my pizza, because Canadian bacon is basically just, let's be honest.
But Dapper, it comes with a free Frober.
Does it?
It does.
Not from the pizza place.
But the Frogurt is also
Yeah.
cursed.
Oh yeah, there's the ref. I missed that entirely until just now. Good old The Simpsons.
They just found anything they could grab,
Well, good old the old
you know,
Simpsons.
and sling mud
Yeah.
at the Bible.
Trying to poke holes in biblical
Oh, hold on.
inerrancy.
Try. That's what we're doing. We're trying to
No
poke
one needs to
holes.
try.
It's my fucking goal to poke holes in biblical inerrancy because that's super goddamn important.
It's like saying
Wow.
NASA is trying to poke holes in the flat Earth. No one has to try, and no one cares to try. It's just following the evidence. I'm sorry. The Bible isn't inerrant, right? Or if you want to say that it is, then you're going to have to say it's inerrant about something other than historical accuracy, right? If you want to say it's inerrant about, like, your theological conclusions, I don't have a way to easily assess that in an objective manner, so, like, whatever, I don't care. Say that. That's fine. I just have fun with it. But if you want to say it's inerrant about facts of history, it just demonstrably isn't. Sorry. It gets things wrong. There was no Exodus. There was no conquest of Canaan. Basically, everything in the Old Testament, up until probably about the exile, iffy at best, obviously not true at worst. And it varies along that spectrum.
At the end of the day, that's just
Yeah, and some scholars who have tried to do that have tried to test the Bible to see if it holds up.
And it doesn't, in general, in the broad strokes.
Not in all, in most cases or many cases, I will say many, not most. In many cases, it doesn't. And you know what? So
Well, the thing is that your
But
theology doesn't
you know what?
demand that you believe that the Bible is literally historically true every time it makes a claim that can be taken as
Ugh.
historical. His does.
yeah, that's one of those things. Like it's kind of jarring sometimes for people to like engage in conversations with me, and they've come out of like a more fundamentalist, background. And I just will casually say something like, oh yeah, the conquest didn't happen or the Exodus isn't historical, blah, blah, and they just look shook.
Mhm.
They're like, but don't you use this text in your tradition? I'm like, yeah. So?
Right?
But it has stuff in it that didn't happen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And? They don't know how to like engage with that because to them it's all or nothing. It's all true or it's all fake.
Stories
and-
doesn't have to be literally
no,
true to be
that's
meaningful.
not how human history
Yeah.
works. That's not how storytelling works.
Stories don't
like,
have to be literally
humans-
true to be meaningful.
Yeah, humans as like a species, we transmitted our histories and our mythologies and our knowledge by mouth. Orally, that's how we did it. When we started to develop written language, that changed how we communicated because once you write it down, it kind of crystallizes in that form. And like, yeah, you can change text later every time you copy them. Sometimes it happens by accident. Sometimes the scribe is trying to harmonize stuff, whatever, it's fine. But humans don't tell stories because we think they're literally true.
Not always.
We
at
don't
least.
tell you the story of like the boy who cried wolf because that's a literal thing that actually happened to this boy one time. Like, no,
Sometimes.
we're trying to tell you don't make shit up for attention because if you really need help, no one's going to believe you.
Yep.
Right?
By the way,
When we talk
See-
about, George Washington chopping down a cherry tree, that did not literally freaking happen. It's part of identity formation. It's how you like shore up your cultural markers. It's so frustrating.
by the way, we need, according to YouTube, who likes to lie about this, so we're taking this with a grain of salt. Allegedly, we need 84 memberships to get the Mudkip Davis. So that's.
And
That
for
sounds like a
Macy
lot.
Cat, I will say,
Aw. All right, here we go. I'm going to hit play.
oh wait, Claude Simeon asked if there are significant strands of Jewish religion that take the history more literally. Is that a minority? Just to nitpick a little bit, I will say like Judaism's more of a like ethno religion, but okay, that's fine. I understand what you're asking. There are some strands that take it quote literally, but even within those communities, there are places where you wouldn't expect them to take this literally that they do, and places where you would not expect it and they don't. So, for instance, even communities that will take certain parts literally, thinking like, oh, Moses was an actual person who received the actual literal written Torah and an oral Torah and handed it down, you know, da 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 da. They'll also say what Maimonides says and go, if you think the earth was literally created in 6 days, you're an idiot. Like, that was never meant to be read literally. That is quite honestly something that Jewish sages have written, and that's that's the common understanding. Which is funny because there are fundamentalist Christians who are like, no, it was actually 6 literal days. It's like, dude, even Jews who think Moses literally existed and handed down the actual Torah as we have it in this form to the leaders who handed it down to these leaders, who handed it down to the rabbis, who handed it, they will tell you that the earth wasn't created in 6 days. They're like, no, that's a metaphor. It's ridiculous. So it doesn't overlap with fundamentalist Christianity in ways that you would expect.
Unless you're Yosef Mizrahi.
So the answer is yes, but no.
Coop23 for $5 says, I celebrate Miku Day every year. That doesn't mean I think Miku is real. I've been known to celebrate
go.
Empire Day, which is the Klingon national holiday.
I celebrate First
There you
Contact
go,
Day.
See? Of course,
Yeah.
you know, that actually is true. That's going to happen. That's real.
I celebrate Jack Chick Day.
Well, okay.
Historically.
That's an actual day.
Um,
by
Oh
the
my
way.
God, I forgot to
With
tell the
the
chat
idea that
this.
once
November
I find enough
22nd.
holes in it, I'll be able to
I
reject
forgot
it.
to tell the chat
know.
this. This
But
is
the evidence was so
hysterically funny to me.
overwhelming.
okay. When I was working San Diego Comic-Con a couple months ago, as I'm walking into the convention center, I hear some people on the street doing street preaching. I'm like, yeah, whatever. It just happens. They were handing out tracts, and I'm like, okay, whatever, don't care. But then I took a second look. They were chick tracts. There was a group handing out
Wow.
actual chick tracts in this day and age. I could not believe it. And I couldn't help myself getting excited. I was like, wait, actual chick tracts? I haven't seen these since I was a teenager. And bless their heart, they thought that I was like agreeing with, you know, their theology and stuff. And I didn't correct them, but
Oops.
they definitely misread my excitement. I couldn't just. Ah! Hey.
I think I can do this. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So I posted a link in the chat to the documentary film God's Cartoonist, which is all about Jack Chick and Chick tracks, and everybody
Amazing.
should watch it. It's so goddamn
Awesome.
good. But yeah, go, and it's
All
free.
right. Well, free is a good
So-
price.
Go watch it, yo.
After such a after sufficient time, it becomes, you know, beyond reasonable doubt. They learn that, okay, the history lines up beyond reasonable doubt.
Where?
Okay.
Because it doesn't for the most part.
Okay.
Wow.
You just gave us, Thomas, an example where the doubt is far more than reasonable. And what's unreasonable is your made-up explanation of a heretofore unknown and never before discovered ethnic group that you just read into the Bible on the basis of a spelling variation.
And they became believers. So that those are stories as well.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
but it's
Who
but you
became
have to.
believers? Sorry, I
them,
missed that.
we didn't get
Who?
names. Hypothetical archaeologists who were hypothetically trying to disprove inerrancy became Christians as
yeah,
a result of their archaeology.
That is fucking bullshit. So by the way, there's another content creator here on YouTube that we don't talk about, but once upon a time he issued a direct. He just asked a question directly of Gary Habermas. You guys familiar
Yes.
with him? You're probably not. Dinosaur.
Yes.
Oh wow, the
I'm
dinosaurs.
aware of him. I don't know if familiar is accurate.
Okay.
Aware of Gary.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch Paulogia's channel, so yes, I'm
I know
quite
he's done a lot of
There you go.
apologetic stuff, including several
So-
defenses of like the resurrection or something.
So Gary Habermas was once asked, "Are you aware of any like non-believing, non-confessional historians who entered their PhD programs as non-believing, non-confessional historians or biblical scholars or studying antiquities in some way who became convinced by the evidence of for it was for Jesus basically, right? For his the claims about Jesus's divinity and the resurrection and stuff, and became believers as a result of that in-depth historical, cultural, philological study. And he was like, yeah, I have a list. And was supposed to provide it to this content creator, and never did, because such a thing absolutely does not exist. This is the unicorn, right? There is not anywhere on earth, and I would stake my entire reputation, for whatever that's worth, on this, that there is not a single person on earth who has come to believe the stories of the Bible on the basis of their PhD work in the Bible. Nowhere.
I'm going to hit play.
Approach it openly. You have to have it in as a possibility in your mind. Maybe this book is right.
Yeah, that's a possibility in everyone's mind, Brian Thomas. The problem is that you've decided that the answer has to be yes, and that anything that contradicts that isn't okay, and you're going to explain it away, or ignore it, or lie about it. When you don't do that, then you don't generally come to the conclusion that all of this alleged history is definitely correct. Some of it is in the category of, like, I don't know, maybe. Actually, I would say a lot of it. Possibly most of it, after you get out of, like, the Torah. Or actually, no, after you get out of Judges, I'll say that. Is in the category of, like, I don't know, maybe some of this happened. I don't know. But that's...
Yeah, I think so. I think,
Go ahead.
yeah. I think Judges, I was going to say, I think Judges preserves some probably fairly reliable cultural memories about about the way life was.
Right, not necessarily
prior to
particular events.
No, nothing particular. Although it's interesting because I think the story, there's an alternative version of the destruction of Hatzor in the Book of Judges, which is probably more akin to the actual destruction of the city of Hatzor than what is recorded in the Book of Joshua. And actually, that's part of where the famous Song of Devorah is based. But I think, by the way, I was going to say this picture that we have on the screen, I feel like just encapsulates her entire feelings about being here and doing this right now.
Yeah, where she's just like, I don't really care. All right, so we are at the point where I think we're going to start doing some wrap-up stuff. It looks like we're not getting Bent free pizza. Sorry, Bent. Bent will have to starve today.
Sorry, you starve.
Bent?
Yeah.
That's just what happens.
What do you guys eat instead?
I mean, I'll eat whatever
free
I want,
pizza?
but Bent is just...
Damn it. That's harsh,
Yeah.
guys.
I mean, that's how it works. If we don't get Ben free pizza and he doesn't have anything recently from his wish list, he just doesn't eat.
You guys are, boy, that is even meaner than you guys are to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to take
That's
a look
crazy.
at the scores. So give me a second. All right, here are the scores. You can see them on screen. Fish, unless we get some brand new...
I see nothing.
well, yeah, that's on the stream.
Because he's sharing it to the...
I'm not going to sit here and change
He
whatever
says he's
screen
sharing
sharing to you. You're not the one who cares, Kip. For $4.99, Kent, Jeffrey of Arabathea Halstead says, these guys literally think that scholars of the Ramayana go to into the text thinking, oh yeah, all of this literally happened. WTF XD. Yeah, no, he does seem to operate under that kind of assumption. which is weird. But yeah, as it stands right now, we have Kip in last place with a score of 3.5. Then we have me in second place with a score of 7.63. And Vish is our current winner with a score of 9.55. And yes, this in fact does in fact work.
A winner is me.
Yep. I'm just demonstrating that this in fact does work. Very, very neat. And yeah, the extent of the axes is always the furthest extent of whoever has like the furthest longs, right? So right now I'm controlling the imaginary axis extent on the graph. So if I lower this, see, it goes down. But if I go below where Vish is, it stays where she is. All very nice. And under the hood, it looks like this. All of this nonsense.
I feel like when we did the stream with Maya, I was able to see the
That's
graph.
because Maya is better at this than I am, and she likes you more than I do.
Wow.
Yep. That's how it works.
Okay.
Sorry. Kip, I'll give you. I will give you over a minute. What do you have coming up?
Oh my god, I get over a minute? Holy shit.
We're a little early.
That is more. Wow.
You're wasting that time right now.
I am. So I have a book that everybody should buy. If you haven't already. It's called God's Propaganda, Pulling Back the Curtain on What the Bible Wants You to See. It's available at Amazon. It's available to other places too. And if you haven't bought it, you should buy it. And then I've got a stream tonight. I am back with Nidhi and Dr. Tapioca Weasel for Budget Scripture Saturday. It's going to be a good time. I have no idea what the fuck is going to happen, but it's usually something crazy. So you should definitely tune into that. It'll be at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. And then I will be doing a Hebrew stream on Thursday night. I have no idea who I'm doing my Hebrew stream with because my partner, Dr. Joshua Bowen, has bailed permanently on me, so I'm looking for replacements, which might be
literally
Vish.
just.
So probably Vish,
I mean, I'm available. I'm in the batter's box, but like
you're in the batter's box.
Call some of his students. There's other
Also,
people in our little ecosphere.
We gotta cancel Dr.
True,
Josh at that.
That's true. I might be desperate enough to reach out to Joel to see if he's doing anything, but we'll see. And then I think I will probably also do I'm slurring, aren't I? I mixed my wine with some rye today, so yeah. So I'll probably do a stream this week as well. And then I think I've got something coming up on the New Evangelicals, but I have to check my calendar.
Oh, okay.
So. Nice.
Right on.
Jester, who's been a member for 20 months, is at the Tetrapod level, says, how many papers has Kip written? Serious question.
Oh, I don't know. Like, my bibliography is like 6 pages in 10-point font.
Okay, over under 100.
Under.
Over under 50.
It's probably closer to over. It's probably closer to 70.
All right. Vishanti, do you have anything you want to tell people about what's coming up?
Holy moly. Now that I'm back from my con refresh, I've been back in touch with Chrissy Hansen, who now has master's degree. Whoop,
Congratulations.
whoop. And we have, yes, that was part of the reason that our project got slowed down, because that obviously takes precedence over YouTube videos. But we are cooking that stuff up, and I'm thinking about making my presentation on the Messianic movement something that I can turn into a video. So it seems to have gone well when I did a run through of it on your Discord the other day.
Yes.
So I'm thinking about turning that into something that I can just put out there and people can link to or cross-reference whenever they need.
Awesome. All right, well, let's see what's coming up for me. I'm going to be on Bad Science Sunday, but I don't remember exactly what time that is. Kip, do you remember what time that starts?
6:30 Pacific.
Okay, there you go.
You're in the Pacific. time
Well,
zone.
I'm in Mountain Standard, but sure.
Mm,
And no,
Pacific.
but sure.
Yeah.
So that'd be 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, tomorrow. Then on Tuesday, we have Tisdall Tuesday coming up. So that'll be me and Chesh. Then that'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Then on Thursday, we have Hoban and Sanford the movie. So all that nonsense that that John Sanford was talking about with Adam and Eve, where he basically didn't ever give a single reason to believe in Adam and Eve ever, even if you took all of his ideas seriously. Yeah, there's a supercut for that. So that's gonna be a pretty long one. That is gonna be 2.5 hours. So like, bring some drinks, bring some snacks. Yeah, and that's gonna be at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Then next Saturday, the plan is to be back with these two, doing more Brian Thomas nonsense.
'Cause we did like what, a solid minute of video.
No, we did
today?
almost 5 minutes.
How far did we? Oh,
Yeah.
really? Wow. Okay.
I mean, we did 4 minutes and
Nice.
56 seconds. So yeah,
Well, that's good.
yeah, we did okay. I mean, for me.
By the way, could I? Fred and Six Fly says there are 45,000 hits on Google Scholar of the search term Kip Davis peer reviewed, which I learned. Listen, I learned that Vish and I guess you too, Dapper, learned this week that probably means that I'm not peer reviewed, because I learned this week that if you don't pass peer review, that actually means that you have passed peer
Yeah,
review.
yeah,
Yes.
Richard Carrier did say that.
And if
Richard
you want
Carrier.
to find out more about that, then you should tune into Budget Scripture Saturday tonight. I'll talk. I'll be talking.
Oh man,
I want to read that bit.
those weren't real scholars anyway.
I want to read that bit from Carrier's blog post. So Carrier is releasing a new book, The
Okay.
Obsolete Paradigm of a Historical Jesus by Richard Carrier, PhD. Because if you don't put PhD in your author's name, apparently you suck or something. I don't know. Anyway, so he says OP, which stands for Obsolete Paradigm. This is direct. I'm reading it off my screen right now. OP did undergo a full peer review at the Real Biblical Studies Press, but scandalously, the reviewers did not take it seriously.
It couldn't possibly be because your ideas are horseshit. It's just because they're scandalously not taking it seriously because they're not real scholars. Yeah.
So, Richard Carrier continues to be a clown who's also a sex pest. So, Richard Carrier, go get fucked. You matter not at all to anyone who matters in the field.
Go get fucked, dude.
Roshan, Rip Inside Jokes Keller for $4.99 says, "What did Dr. Kill do to Dr. Josh to make Dr. Josh hate Dr. Kill? What did you do?"
I don't listen. I think maybe he's just jealous
Oh, yeah.
of my beard.
Could be that. All right.
That's it. That's it. Because he tried to grow one, right?
I think so.
And I don't know if it's working out.
Well, it looks like we're not going to be able to get Bent pizza. I think we're like $15 or $20 away. So, sorry, Bent. No free pizza for you. You just have to starve today. But that's okay. Like I've said, when he goes too long without food, he just lays down on the couch and tries not to move so as to preserve calories.
Does he go into
Yeah,
torpor?
basically, slows down his heart rate, slows down his breathing, just stay still.
Yeah, looks forlorn.
Well, I mean, he closes his eyes and just kind of
Yeah.
zones out.
This place.
Wes Payne, who's been a member for 4 months, says Carrier is a bag of AIGs. I'll take a drink for that. All right, everybody, if you are interested, we are going to be watching Godzilla Raids again. It is the second Godzilla movie. It is the only other Godzilla movie besides the original to be in black and white. And so we are going to be watching that over in
You guys started
We did,
Godzilla?
yeah. We finished Power Rangers.
I was on a holiday.
Yeah, I know. You sent me pictures. Yeah.
I did.
So yeah, that is going to be the next thing we're going to be doing. So head over there if you are interested in Godzilla raids again. In case you're wondering, this was a movie that was scrambled together in less than a year after the release of the original Godzilla to capitalize on the fact that it was a gigantic financial success for Toho. As a result, it was itself not a huge financial success because it was scrambled together in under a year and didn't even bother to bring back Ishiro Honda, the somewhat legendary director of the first movie. So, it's a bit of a black sheep when it comes to the Toho era, along with Godzilla Attacks. So, like, get ready for that.
Does that mean it sucks?
I don't think it sucks, but it's not great. However, it does have the introduction of Godzilla's longest-standing frenemy, Anguirus. Or Angulus, depending on which movie you're watching and which dub it is. So there you go.
Hey, was there ever a TV show? A Godzilla
there
TV
were
show?
2 at least that I can think of. There was the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla.
Oh.
And then there was another show.
Hanna-Barbera. Holy crap.
It introduced the character Gonzuki to the Godzilla fans. And then there was another 90s TV show. It was weird because it started like in media res of like some events, and there was a Godzilla that didn't look much like Godzilla, looked more like a T-Rex. And like it would make more sense if it had a movie connected to it about Godzilla, but it doesn't. So like I don't know. But I hear that the actual cartoon itself was pretty decent. So
Are you guys gonna finish up by watching is it Project Monarch?
we are. I believe the
it's
plan
the
is to
latest
watch Monarch after
one.
we watch the current
Nice.
slate.
I liked
I
Monarch.
did too. So yeah, there you go, guys. We're gonna get out of here. Thank you so much. Sorry, Bent. You're gonna have to starve today.
I am also sorry.
Well, I mean,
and
you could send that the $20 super chat right now, Kip, if you wanted to.
I think I'm because I just can't figure out how to link my
Yeah,
phone
yeah. See,
to
Kip
my
isn't that sorry.
account.
He's only a little sorry. All right. Well, stay safe out there, everybody. I hope to see plenty of you over in the Discord. And if not, then I hope I see you all for Bad Science Sunday tomorrow, again at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. Bye. Hey, before you leave, I just want to take a second to thank my patrons and channel members, especially those pledging $20 or above. Ben Tovand, Tapioca Weasel, Arrow Dodger, Dan Sheedy, Eleron Teller, Phil Rivara, Ian Chen, Joshua Geese, Kelvin Brostic Van Manen, Landon Knoll, Regios, Sphincter of Doom, The Plastic Mouse, Volis, North Texas Fossils, and John Ackerman. It's because of my channel members and patrons whom you're seeing on screen that this channel can stay afloat. Without you, it would all shut down. If you want to join the team, there's a link to join the channel below this video, and there's a link to join the Patreon in the description. On the Patreon, you can get a 10% discount for pledging annually, and either way, you get early access to virtually all of my scripted videos, often 3 to 5 months before they come out for the general public. Thanks for watching.